Well, with the first step in the 2012 race for the White House just days away, all eyes are on Iowa. But should they be? For more on why the Iowa caucuses might not really matter and why we keep talking about it anyway, we're joined now live in our studio by News 8's Jenna Traum.
Lou, we've been hearing about the Iowa caucus for weeks now. Now, part of that is because the candidates have been traveling all over the state, many of them concentrating most of their efforts, not to mention money, in Iowa. But here's a look at why the Iowa caucus might not be all it's cracked up to be. If you listen to candidates competing for the chance to run against President Obama, you'd think Iowa was the make-or-break state for the Republican field.
We've gone across all of Iowa, all 99 counties.
Nobody can prove anything until we have a real election, and we're going to have a real caucus vote, straw vote on Tuesday night. That's going to tell us a whole lot.
But will it really? UWL political analyst Joe Heim doesn't think so.
Iowa is not America. It's not like the rest of America, and the caucus system is even less likely to reflect the average voters out there.
Part of that has to do with the not-so-diverse population of Iowa, but part of it has to do with how a caucus is run.
The primary might be 10 or 15 minutes of committed time. Caucus is 2 to 3 hours committed time. So you have an entirely different kind of a person willing to show up at a caucus.
So if Iowa is not a good representation of how America will vote, why is it still such a big deal? To tell you the truth, it might be our fault.
For the media, you have weeks and weeks to prepare yourself for the Iowa caucus, whereas in the future, for example, the New Hampshire primary is January 10th. The media is going to have all of about a week to sort of really get set up for that one. And in the future ones, when there's 3 or 4 primaries or caucuses on the same day, the media attention is even that further divided.
Plus, a recent poll by the Des Moines Register finds that 41% of likely caucus goers are still undecided or might change their minds. And that statistic is something Michelle Bachmann is clinging to, since polls show her not even breaking the top 5, despite her winning the Iowa straw poll this summer.
I think the polls, what they're reflecting, will be very different from what we're seeing on Tuesday night, because people make their decision, quite honestly, in the caucus room.
It's a race that's still too close to call, and whether we should be or not, you can bet we'll be paying close attention. Of course, Iowa's outcome will only matter until the New Hampshire primary rolls around a week later. And if 2008 is any indication, New Hampshire could be a better predictor. Back then, Mike Huckabee won the Iowa caucus, only to drop out of the race just weeks later. John McCain came in 4th in Iowa, but went on to win the New Hampshire primary and eventually the GOP nomination.
All right, thank you, Jenna. Now, polls show Mitt Romney is the overwhelming frontrunner in New Hampshire.